And then you realize that this is just something that you do. You don't even like really like, Jeff, is that right?
You're absolutely right. And the couple of things that come to mind, I mean, I started off with one house. And then after that, I bought a double, 1393 East Main Street. It was one double. I mean, that's, you gotta start somewhere. Probably some of the things that I would do differently if I could go back is I would have started partnering sooner. I would have started partnering with other people's money sooner. Cause I was never limited. I mean, now, the environment is different than it was back in the early 2000s, pre great financial crisis. But yeah, I would have started partnering more. I would have bought more, of course, but if I would have partnered, and then I could have bought more. So I could have been even further ahead than I am now. But I am where I am, and I'm certainly very happy with where I am. But that partnering is definitely one of the big things that I would have done sooner. And it happens incrementally. I don't know. Maybe it's a character defect. Like I said, I'm never happy where I am.
Yeah.
But it also keeps me moving.
Totally.
But once in a while, I do sit back and be like, holy shit! Like, this is probably the coolest thing that I find is that all the things that I've done every job in our company I've done every job, and I've done it some better than others. Now I have we have 120 employees, and I have some I would say a dozen, our leadership team, which is, I don't even know, 12, 13 people that are managers or above, that are running the company, and they're doing a great job. And that's one of the things when I do have those brief moments where I reflect, that's what I'm most impressed with. It's not the number of units we have. It's not the our assets under management, or how much money we're making. It's them, and it's also about the number of homeowners that we're serving. Seeing everyone working and rowing in the same direction is really cool for one cause, one goal. So
that's by the way, that's my biggest. That's like the next thing where, for us at Suplex Construction, Suplex Properties, that feeling of like you can go out of town, and like they're probably in some.
I'm not in it anymore.
They're probably in some ways like, Jeff, go. Like you're kind of getting in the way here.
I don't even, so we use Rent Manager for our property management software, and I joke around. I don't even have a login. I don't know how to do that stuff anymore. I'm working on the business, not in the business anymore.
Right.
And Michael knows. He's, we're out 70% of the day. We're out meeting people, doing meetings, talking about deals, seeing properties. And that's what I really love to do. So
I'm just so pumped up for you, dude. I really am pumped up for you. I really, truly am. Like that. The opportunity you have right now is bananas. Like just keep doing your thing. Just keep being reliable. Obviously, that's number one. Probably is just being reliable. Like no one expects probably much because you're 20, but I'm sure you expect a lot of yourself, which is great. But at the end of the day, if you're just willing to be reliable and someone that you can be counted on, I think accountability is just like
follow up.
Oh, it's just so amazing. But yeah, the next great feat for us at Suplex would be, being in a position where we can delegate to a group of people who are like, because your team does want to win.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
that's so important.
Yeah, they want to like they're jacked up.
Oh yeah, they're killers, man. We're fully aligned. Everyone's fully aligned, and they want to serve our residents. They want to make money, which is you got to have. We're capitalists. Yep. I mean, we're market guys. It's exciting for everyone to be moving in the same direction.
It's not when you feel like that feel good feeling. It's not, yes, the money's fun, but it's when you have a team. I bet when you're sitting back to think about it, it's like, man, I'm blessed in that fact that I have a team that wants to win, and like they're hungry and they are growing the company, and I can just work on, like you said, growing the business, figuring out some other partnerships and how to work with the government, like that's such a cool spot. But it starts with one house in the city, right?
One house in the city, doing everything. Fucking plunging toilets. Plunging toilets. Painting. I mean, doing everything. When I had my apartments, I did everything. except for roofing, just because I was scared. I didn't want to get on the roof. I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
But other than that, we did everything. You know, I would get on the ladder, but just not too high.
On bigger partnerships that you've been doing with some other organizations, you said, okay, so what was it like using hard money you didn't do for a long time? Was it using like other people's money? What so that was one little thing that you had to get over. And then that becomes a muscle that you train. Like I'm just the type of guy that returns capital, right? That's me, Marty Grisani. I return capital. I mean, I'm an open book. You can look at all my investors, they're paid. I can name them all and give you all their numbers and they effing love me, right? That's just a fact. But for you, like but I did that day one. I borrowed money day one. Did that take you a long time to like get okay with doing that? Because I know people feel a little weird about that. And then on the partnership side, what took you a while to do that and why?
So on the partner, I'll go backwards. So on the partnership side, it was just, I just wanted to do things on my own. I mean, I wanted to be, you know, I left the corporate world because I wanted to be my own boss, and I didn't want to have anyone else involved or anyone that was involved in decision making. So I started off with just friends and family investors. So if I would have done that sooner, again, I would have had more deals that we could have purchased. What was your second part?
Well, it's just basically the bigger partnerships that you've done.
Yeah.
When you're working with, like, were you just like, I'm going to just learn this thing on my own first. Like, I don't need this. I don't need to work with this construction company because I'm gonna do it with my guys. Was that part of it, or was it like? That opportunity didn't come up because my favorite thing to do is partner. It's my favorite thing to do because they're really good at this thing. I'm decent over here. And it's like, let's work together.
I think for me, it was more where I started from. So, you know, when I had my apartments, I was working for a market research company. I quit my job too early. I was only doing my real estate and I didn't have enough money. I was not making enough money to live. And I quit, like I said, too soon. I don't know if you noticed, I had 2 foreclosures, 2 or 3 foreclosures, and I was this close to claiming bankruptcy.
Wow.
And this was in early 2000s. And I was kind of fucked. I mean, I thought I was going under. I had to be strategic. Like I said, I think it was like 2 or 3 properties go back to the bank, and I circled the wagons to, you know, preserve as much cash flow as possible. So I didn't have any money to because partnering generally costs, for the most part, money.
Yeah, you're right.
If you do it yourself, it's always gonna be cheaper because at the time, you know, I was free. I mean, my labor was free, so my sweat equity was huge. So I learned how to do everything. But yeah, now totally different mindset. I got your mindset. If I can't do it well myself, generally we're gonna partner with someone or hire someone to help us out.
Thank you for being real.
Well,
not many
it
people
is what
will.
it is. Public record.
Yeah, you can look it up. But that was probably a lot of learning lessons.
Oh my
gosh,
right? Yeah, yep. Yeah. It was like I said, it was scary for a couple of years. I mean, they you know, I don't know. I'm sure maybe some of your listeners have had credit issues and getting phone calls on a several times a day because you know it wasn't just those 3 houses. I mean, I owed everyone money. And it's probably a good thing I didn't get into hard money because there was a lot of like I said, it was a few houses and a lot of credit card debt. And it was scary times. But we came back out of it by just doing cash only for a long time. If it wasn't in my checking account, I didn't buy it. I figured I had to figure it out, and we were successful with those apartments.
Well, you exited at a really good time.
I exited right before the great financial crisis. I sold all my apartments to a gentleman by the name of Joe Sofer. I'll never forget his name. He came up from New York City and thought that my apartments were, you know, God's green earth, and he bought them, and I put them up on LoopNet for $1 million. I sold them. The next day, he put them up for $2 million, and most of them ended up going in foreclosure because he just. I mean, you know, the city apartments need constant management.
Yep.
You know, and constant hand holding, and that's what I did.
It can't be third party management either.
No, not at all. No, I did it all myself. I mean, Friday afternoon, Friday night, and Saturday morning. Guess where I was every week?
Really?
Collecting rent. every week. Because a lot of my residents, that's how my tenants, that's how they, that's the only way they could be successful. I had to meet them where they were.
Right.
And that was to pay every week.
Yeah.
And I needed that money for me to be successful.
Right.
So I had to, that's what I had to do. I had to meet them out there, collect the money and do it. So
what's crazy is that you didn't give up and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a job back at, whatever you're.
I could have. I got a master's degree.
Yeah. right. But that's insane that you're like, no, I'm gonna keep betting on myself. That's
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of this game. It's the beauty of life. It's the beauty of real estate for sure, is that you don't fail. I mean, we all fail constantly. Like I'm failing constantly, but you don't lose unless you quit. Like the game is so long. Like you can fail multiple times, but like if you don't quit, the lights are still on. You can still move. You can still shake. Like Matt, we watched this video from Jocko Willink. I don't know if you know Jocko Willink, but he's ex Navy SEAL business owner, blah blah blah. And he's like, you didn't get the job, good. The rent didn't come from your client, good. You probably learned something. The sale fell through, good. You're still breathing. You can still move on. You can still, because at the end of the day, if you're still alive, like that's all that really matters. Like,
for sure.
Our health and all those things, like you can be grateful for it. But it is like, it's one of those things where we, thinking about, I remember you telling me about that. Like you had those prior struggles, like, man, so many people have just given up, but because you did what you did, you got into mobile home, or you got into the communities very, very before a lot of people thought that was hot. I mean, right? I mean, you had
for sure.
How many deals? By the way, how many deals did you like not do? Because like, oh, it's not a 20 cap. I only buy 20 caps. You know what I mean?
I remember when I was in big with the parks, it was 10,000 a pad. At the most, it was 10 caps with upside.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my God.
But no, I like what you're saying, Marty. I mean, every day's a lesson. Everything that happens to us is a lesson. If you're not learning from it, that's on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't give up, you're not failing. It's not a failure.
It's not a failure.
It's not a failure at all.
You can't. It's amazing. Like if you have that mindset, and it took me a long time to get it, but once I got it, I was like, well, then everything else is fine. Like I can't lose because I'm going to show up every day, and I'm not going to win every day, but I'm going to show up every day.
Yep. You can't lose.
All right, that's it, boys and girls. We just did a part 2